my friends. Welcome to Sort of Brilliant, a show where the characters are made up and Hogwarts house sorting absolutely does matter. My name is Rachel.
And I'm her best friend and co-host, Lauren. Every other week, we're going to invade a fandom and determine whether your favorite character belongs in Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin. There's bound to be some arguments along the way.
But in the end, we're always right.
Well, according to us.
According to us. Okay, so you're probably thinking like, what is this, a Noxzema commercial or something? But you like totally need to chill because we're actually super normal girls. Hi, we're Sort of Brilliant and we run this school in Los Angeles. Just kidding. Hi, welcome back. Did you like my Valley Girl impersonation?
That was very Nick Cage.
What is very Nick Cage?
Yeah, you've never seen Valley Girl?
No.
Barf out. Gag me with a spoon.
As if. No. If you couldn't already tell, my intro was in honor of the amazing 90s classic Clueless, which is what we're going to be talking about today.
Rachel insisted on doing the opening. I did not know what it was, but I was like, you're going to intro your birthday episode? Seems kind of conceited, but okay.
I just wanted
like,
to
no, I'm not going to say it's my birthday. You have to do that for me. So
that's right.
It's her birthday. We're Lauren and Rachel. We're not named after famous dead singers, but, you know.
No, right. I guess not.
No.
What do I have? Rachel Berry? Awful. You
can't wait
Lauryn
for our
Hill.
Glee
That's
episode. Lauryn Hill. Okay.
Yeah, not bad. But Rachel Berry. Oh, God, are we doing Glee?
We have to do Glee, right?
Keep me away from Mr. Shu. He's a fucking serial killer. What a psychopath. Have you seen this shit online where they're terrified of him?
No, I just saw the no context Glee screen cap, and they just posted from the episode where he's like, "You're all minorities because you're in Glee Club."
Oh my God.
What was that show?
I don't know.
It got away with it too. It hit that weird mid-2000s like bubble where everybody was like just about to be aware, but we're still like, this is okay. And it was bad.
They were just like very stereotypical gay people, gay representation, like all the stereotypes they were hitting. And they were like, this is good.
Yeah.
This is good because we support gay people. And they were like, oh, this is not great. Looking back at it, like, it's very, very not. But
anyway, this episode
we're not here to talk about Glee.
No, we're here to talk about Clueless, which actually, for the 90s, was attempting to be fairly aware.
It's like pretty good.
Yeah, there's a gay guy in it, and the characters are just like, oh, that makes sense why he's not into me, and like move on. They're fine, and
that's true. Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, there are a couple parts where it's very clearly it's 90s, and you're like, okay.
You're like, wow, people were wild.
They sure were. Let me just.
Can you believe the 90s was 30 years ago?
Fuck no, dude. I'm gonna be 31. That's horrible. That's horrific. It's horrendous, is what it is. But a lot of my time as a kid was spent watching this movie, like on repeat. So I will be annoyingly re-quoting things and whatever. And speaking of like how advanced and progressive this movie was, I would like to recite for you Murray explaining why it's okay that he calls Dionne woman.
I just watched that.
And he goes,
street slang. Are you going to do it exactly?
I will.
Okay.
He says, "Excuse me, Miss Dionne. Street slang is an increasingly valid form of expression. Most of the female expressions do have mocking, but not necessarily misogynistic undertones."
As far as I can tell, Rachel is not reading off of a screen prompter.
Oh, no, I'm not. I just remember it. Yeah.
So I guess, this is why this is her birthday episode. This is what she chose. She had a couple of things on deck, but I have sucked at being able to watch Buffy without stopping at the same episode every time.
That's okay.
We're going to do it. I'll get
Buffy
there.
is hard.
I'm going to get there. It's a very hard 90s. I'm going to get there.
It's 90s in a different way than Clueless is.
Oh, God, yeah.
It takes itself seriously, and Clueless very clearly does not.
Right.
So, Buffy's a little harder, but we will get to that too.
Have
Maybe
you seen
next year for my birthday.
Alicia? Yeah, we should do it next year for your birthday. Have you seen Alicia Silverstone on TikTok? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Doing all her lines and the outfits and the...
I don't know how many of you out there are as old as me, but Alicia Silverstone or Alicia Silverstone, I've called her both my whole life. I'm not quite sure which one. But she was like the like my Virgin Mary, Mother of God. I worshipped her as a kid. She was in Aerosmith videos. She was fucking Batgirl. She was so, oh God, I loved her in everything. I still want to bungee jump because she bungee jumps in Aerosmith's Crying video. And the whole video is great, okay? She's like running away from this guy and she's such a dick in it, and she bungee jumps and she makes him think she's killing herself, but she's not. And he looks over the ledge and she's just like got her middle finger up and she's just swinging off the freeway. She's so fucking cool. So there's more to her than just Cher. But I appreciate her rendition of Cher and that she really like welcomes it even later in life. She's like, dude, I'm going to get on TikTok. I'm going to redo all the scenes. She was on that show, Lip Sync Battle.
Yeah.
Where she did Iggy Azalea in the Cher yellow plaid outfit.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
I just do be loving her. I can't help myself. So, yeah. Happy to do it, and really happy that Lauren and I agree on all the sorting. We are going to be doing Cher, Dionne, and Tai.
Yeah,
Hello.
Rachel did not know that this movie was based off of my favorite book ever. When I met her, I was like, this is Emma. And she was like, what's that? I was like, it's a Jane Austen book. And then I made her watch the BBC Emma. And she was watching Emma like, that one's Cher. That one's, that one's Tai. And she was exciting. Like, she's like, who's Dionne? I was like, oh my God.
Who was Dionne?
Dionne doesn't really have a counterpart.
That's why Clueless is better.
I guess like the closest would probably be Emma's sister, who we like never see. But yeah.
Well, like we said, we barely see Dionne.
Right.
We were talking about this earlier. We were like, she's got like 7 minutes of on-screen time, but we're still going to sort her.
Yeah.
It was a very clear one to us.
Well, it was also like 90s representation, but not too much. Yeah.
But you know what? The sorting hat existed in the 90s, which you know if you read Harry Potter. And they were like prime Hogwarts age for that time period. I wonder what they would have done in Hogwarts. They would have ran that school.
Would they?
Yeah, they totally would.
I don't think they would have paid attention to a lot of people there.
You gave me a C, Professor Snape? I don't think so. Time to jumpstart negotiations. Oh my God. Well, it's a phenomenal, phenomenal movie. And obviously you've seen it if you're here. Hello.
Or you haven't seen it.
And this
is your introduction to Clueless. Go watch it right now. What the hell?
Dude, I don't even... Stop listening to this and go watch Clueless. Yes, well, we're children of the 90s, so what are you going to do? We love it, for better or worse.
Clueless is both of our favorite movies. Like,
true that.
If I really think about it, it's my favorite movie.
We also have the same top 3 Disney movies, too.
Do we really?
Yeah. Sleeping Beauty, Aladdin, Hercules.
Holy hell. I guess we can be friends.
I guess so. Okay, well, let's start with
Disney. Sorry.
That would be fun.
Yeah, we haven't done any Disney because the MCU's fucking sucking up all the time.
Oh my God, I wish it would stop. Okay. Back to the amazing movie on deck for today. To start with Clueless, I think you do have to start with Cher. The whole movie is about her. She's got the most scenes, most dialogue. So you have to start with Cher, whose house is very obvious to Lauren and I.
Yes. Which
we actually haven't discussed it very much.
No, I texted Rachel 2 days ago and was like, wait, do we agree on the houses? Are we going to be fighting? I didn't know. I was like, what mood should I be in for this recording? But then she said all of their houses and I was like, oh, good. We are in agreement. And I honestly, because this is my favorite movie is based on my favorite book, no connection. I came to those conclusions separately. But I did have to be careful to not sort Emma. I had to sort Cher. Right. Yeah. So, but yeah, I texted Rachel and I was like, what are your houses? And she gave them to me and she was like, are those yours? And I was like, haha. Yeah, they are.
She just goes, wow. And I'm like, whoa, okay. So we completely disagree. I'm going to have to fight you in the streets. No, we agreed. Thank God. So Cher, bless her heart.
Yes. Yeah. Do I get to say it? She belongs to me. She belongs to me. Yeah. She's a Slytherin. Huge Slytherin. Gigantic, massive Slytherin. And I mean, Rachel said it's obvious, but I don't think it's in the stereotypical way necessarily. Cher is certainly self-absorbed. Like, she is incredibly self-absorbed. But, I don't, like, even if you look at the freaking Slytherins that JKR gave us, they weren't like that, really. Like, you know, Draco is all like, my family, and they're super rich. And people say this to Cher, and when Elton is like, do you even know who my father is? She's like, oh my God, you're such a snob. Like, she is clueless. Like, that's what it is, right? She grew up as a rich girl, and she doesn't really understand how real world works. She's clueless, like, and that's just how she is. But I don't think she's necessarily, like, bitchy about it, you know?
No, because she's spoiled but not a brat.
Right.
So, and especially when it counts. I mean, she has a lot of guilt over things when they go wrong or when they go bad or when she can't actually help someone or something.
She was so sick about telling Ty that Elton didn't like her that her masseuse said that she was tensing up.
Yeah, so she's not, and when Josh calls her a brat, it really pisses her off. She fails her driving test over it.
Yeah.
So she's not, I mean, I guess to less privileged people like Lauren and I, who the peasants beneath her, we could say, like, okay, she's, you know, they're like spoiled brats living in Beverly Hills or whatever. But she's not a brat. When you consider everything she's got going for her, she's very, very spoiled, very privileged, very lucky, and she's extremely manipulative. But it's all positive, right? She has the best intentions always.
Well, yeah.
Really
and
does.
I mean, she herself comes first, right? Like, when she gets her grades back and they're bad, and she's like, well, I'm just going to get them changed. And that's when the manipulation comes in. Like, she goes through each teacher, too. Like, she tells her gym teacher that a boy broke her heart, and she tells Miss Geist that she'll sign up for, like, some environmental, like, she'll write to her congressperson or whatever. And then she figures out that the only way to get her debate grade changed is to, like, make that teacher happier. So she, like, devises a plan to have him and Miss Geist fall in love. And, you know, it like starts selfishly because she wants a better grade, but then it also makes everything easier for all her other classmates who are cheering her on. So that's like still a little selfish, but she's also helping other people. But then I think she also gets the idea in her head that she is actually helping them, especially with Josh like continuing to poke at her and telling her that she doesn't do anything for humanity or whatever. So actually when he's doing that, when he's like, you don't do anything, she's like, actually, I spent a lot of my time helping 2 teachers find love. And he's like, oh yeah, and I'm sure that didn't benefit you in the slightest, right? And like, no, it did. But, like, it was all of these things together that were, like, nice for her, you know?
Yeah.
Like, she was like, this is a really nice bonus to the fact that I now have an A on my report card.
Right. Well, a C in debate is unacceptable, so the teachers are trying to lowball me, Daddy.
Yeah.
Okay, time to jumpstart negotiations.
And I love how her dad is like, yeah, when she...
This is the thing, she's rewarded.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing about her, too, about Cher. Like, the movie opens, and she's doing her whole, like, opening monologue or whatever, and she's like... My daddy's paid $500 an hour to fight with people, but I get to fight with him for free. Like, she likes arguing.
I'm his daughter.
Yeah, but she likes arguing. Like when what's the debate teacher's name? I just lost it.
Mr. Hall.
Mr. Hall. Okay, thank you. Freaking Inconceivable from Princess Bride, but and Blair's stepdad from Gossip Girl. But anyway, so when he's like reading out the tardies or whatever, she immediately is like, I object. Do you know the dates of these alleged tardies? And he's like, well, one was last Monday, and she had a whole argument about how she had her period, and she had to haul ass to the ladies' room.
Excuse me, she said
she's
she was
riding
surfing the crimson wave.
Yeah, whatever.
She had to haul ass to the ladies.
Yeah, and he was like, okay, fine, we'll take that off the record. But she just wants to, like, she just likes fighting, and it's...
Well, you know what's really Slytherin about that moment, too, is that she does that. She goes, I had to haul ass to the ladies. Yeah. And she gets out of it, and she's like, Miss Geist was right about you.
Right, yeah.
By the way.
It's very manipulative. It all, like, fits together. And it's, like, some Slytherins like playing devil's advocates because they like being dicks. And, like, some do it because they have this, like, always right mentality. And I think especially with her dad being a lawyer and how she was brought up, she just genuinely likes arguing. Like, she's just I'm good at it and I want to do it. So. Yeah,
and it's an ongoing theme in the movie. I mean, when she has the whole thing about the Haitians, she doesn't know what she's talking about, but
can I tell you?
Applauding
Can I tell you that I get so mad in that scene? Because she's smart.
Well, it's
and
not
she
false
says,
equivalency.
no, she says a really smart analogy. And freaking Amber's like, I can't do the assignment if she doesn't do hers. And I was like, Amber, she made a really good argument. Her freaking analogy,
make a point.
Her analogy was that the Haitians were just like her dad's dinner party where like people didn't RSVP, so she had to go rearrange the food so everybody got fed or whatever. She was literally just saying, yes, refugees should be let into the United States. We have to rearrange how our system works in order to make sure that we can take on the burden because everybody's freaking out about how like, oh, it's going to take stuff away from us. She's like, it's really easy to do. I did it at this dinner party. And Amber's like, that didn't make any sense. And I was like, she said something really smart. Like, you're just listening to the surface level. She's like, she's talking about a birthday party. I'm like, oh my God.
It does not say RSVP on the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, exactly. And then she loses it because she's like, hello, it was his 50th. Like, she realizes that she said something too smart. She was like, never mind. Nobody gets me.
She starts it off by talking about the Haitians, okay? So it always makes me laugh. But yes, it's not a false equivalency argument. So, and Amber's just a dick.
Yeah.
Man, the way I hated Amber growing up, but whatever. We're not sorting her, thank God. I don't even want to think about it. What would you give her just like off the cuff?
Oh, I was going to say who she is in Emma. I'm pretty sure she's a Jane Fairfax, but...
Interesting.
Yeah, a very, very loose Jane Fairfax because the stories aren't exactly the same, but... I'd probably give her, I don't know. I don't know. She's a social climber.
Full-on Monet.
She's sycophantic. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know.
But, okay, so also
I can't do any activities where balls fly at my nose.
There goes your social life.
Yep.
So, Cher, very, very clear Slytherin from, I mean, okay, so she's the lawyer's daughter. She loves to argue. But, I mean, she also has, like, extremely high standards for herself that her father also sets up for her, right? She knows to expect the best.
And she expects them from her father, too. Like, she makes him eat good food and, you know, and she's like, the doctor said this and your parents called and, you know.
And like, she takes, I'm doing air quotes, she takes care of everything in the house. I mean, the maids and the gardeners actually do. But she's very kind and she does her best. And when she fucks up, she has this guilt, man. She really does feel bad. Like when she
called Lucy the wrong...
Yeah, because Lucy's from El Salvador, and she didn't realize that, and it offends her. So she immediately apologizes, and then everything is starting to bother her, because she's like, oh, right, everything is always my fault.
She's like, oh, shit, am I a bad person? Because like, her apology wasn't...
her hands and everything.
And her apology, like, wasn't the best either, right? She's like, it's not my fault. I didn't know Lucy wasn't from... Yeah.
Well, it's implied she apologized more deeply to her. Like, she's taking a test. She goes, I did apologize to Lucy. Like, but, you know, she feels that guilt. She feels really bad about it. And I don't think other houses would have as much guilt as she does. And I think it's because she feels responsible for a lot of things that go on.
It's out of being wrong, too. But that's where this makes Cher not special, but like a specific type of Slytherin, because Slytherins don't always have that moral. And I think Cher has a pretty good sense of what she should be doing to be a good person. Like Josh keeps telling her that you should like... And since she has these such high standards for herself, when she takes Tai under her wing and she's like, okay, we take care of our minds, we take care of our bodies, and, you know, we do exercise, we read books, and we should also do something to help humanity. Like, she has this idea that she should be doing something to be helpful. And it kickstarts with the teachers and making them fall in love. And then she sees Tai and she's like, oh, she's clueless. Like, I have to take her under my wing or whatever. So she has this idea that she should be doing good. And she does what she thinks is good. And then Josh or somebody else is like, you're actually still being kind of selfish and you're not really doing anything. Like you think you are, and that's great because you're trying, but you're not really. And then she really gets upset. And then she really does something. Like at the end of the movie, they hold the drive or whatever. And she's taking like every single thing out of the house. Her dad's like, do you think they need our skis? Like, what?
Like, I don't know, Daddy.
She's like, so she does have that sense of how she should be right, and she's like trying to grow to actually do it.
Yeah. Well, I think with her, it's also she literally says it. Like, I feel impotent and out of control.
Right, when
I really hate that.
Yeah.
So she cannot not be in control. And it's something that Dionne notices too. And Dionne says it to Tai when they want to do the makeover. She's like, it helps Cher feel like, let her give you a makeover. It helps her feel some control in a world full of chaos or whatever. Right. And she does. She needs to be in control of a situation if she doesn't feel like herself. And when things start to go wrong and start to go bad, she does have a guilt there that other Slytherins you might not see right away. She reminds me a little bit of Jeff Winger. Jeff Winger also has the guilt too. Jeff Winger also has the speeches that get the applause from the student body. Yeah. So they're Well, like the lawyer thing, they're very similar to me.
Well, and the control thing kind of comes from again, not understanding, being clueless. And that ties in perfectly with her Slytherin, like not really getting why other people aren't thinking like her. When she fails her driver's test, she sincerely does not, like she's a horrendous driver. Yeah. And everybody has been telling her, but she is still allowed to continue to drive. So she's like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand how I failed this because I've been driving and nobody's done anything to stop me. So like, what do you mean? I'm not a good driver. Right. And she gets really upset about it.
She does. But what I also noticed and that I really love about Cher, and I always liked it as a kid, was her dad gives her an order and she doesn't disobey. Mm-hmm. She's not rebellious. She doesn't lie and bullshit her father and sneak the Jeep out.
She's like, well, damn, now I have to drive around with Josh. But like she does it.
But she respects him and she respects the integrity of it. She's like, I actually want to be a good driver. And then when she fails, she's really upset, and she fails because she can't get her mind off of everything going wrong, which heavily Slytherin to me. I mean, I feel like when y'all get deep in your feels, you fuck up stuff around you. Because you can't focus.
Yeah. And I mean, it's the same thing with the not understanding how people are thinking with Elton too, right? She's like, how do you not like Tai? Tai is my friend. So obviously
she felt so bad.
She did. And she didn't understand. She was like, what do you mean Tai is like below your social status or whatever the hell you're saying? Tai is my friend. I gave her a makeover. Like I've been matchmaking you. And obviously with my former one success, I'm good at it. So what the hell, Elton? And then when he's like, I like you, she hates that. And she and that's very Slytherin too. She gets out of the car. And it's so funny because she's like, wait, where are you going? Like, but then she's like, whatever. She got out of the car. She was very she says it that she got sexually assaulted when she calls Josh.
She did, yeah.
Yeah, and she got out of the car and she's like, I'm done with this. And then she gets mugged and still handles it really, really well. She's just she's good at being in control in bad situations. And she has this way of thinking that she's like, I don't think she thought that guy was going to shoot her. She's like, I'm in an Alaya. You're not going to shoot me. Like,
I think that's a really common thing with Cher is like, she doesn't think it's actually going to go wrong. She's like, oh, hit a little snag, but it'll all work out for the best because I'm in control.
In control. Yeah, I'm doing it. Like, I don't want it to happen this way, so it's not going to.
Right.
You know?
I love her. I really do feel she's spoiled but not a brat. Yeah. That's how I've always described her.
I was going to say, too, I think that's one of the things that throws her off about Tai deciding that she has a crush on Josh. Because she's like, wait, I didn't control this. And then on top of that, she's like, I don't like this. And I'm not really sure why. And she actually has to go through this. We hear her whole monologue of her working through why this is bothering her, which I think is insanely Slytherin how she works through it. But, yeah.
She doesn't even want to, she still wants to help Tai when they're having that conversation. She's like, oh, well, maybe you're not well suited. And she accidentally offends her. But she's barely trying to deter her. Like, her manipulation is not sinister. She's barely trying to get her off that path. She's not pulling strings.
Well, yeah, because she's not certain about why she doesn't want Tai to be with Josh. She's like, I need more time to think about this. So, don't go for it.
When she does think about it, she says, I don't begrudge her a boyfriend. So, why is this bothering me? Mm-hmm. Because she doesn't. This is the thing about Cher. I don't want anyone to ever think she's actually this selfish brat. She's not. She wants Tai to be happy. And she's just as confused as Tai is when she insults her. Like, you're a virgin who can't drive. They're all confused. They're all clueless. They're all stupid, clueless kids who are also smart. Mm-hmm. Very strange. I really enjoy the dynamic of the people in this movie. But yeah, she's the one who is always pulling the strings or trying to, and I think when she starts to really get down on herself and she's like, okay, I'm not actually this useful person. I'm not a humanitarian. I'm not a matchmaker or whatever. Her dad, who really is her person, he pulls her back and he's like, who takes care of everyone in this house? Mm-hmm. Who makes sure daddy eats right? It's you. It's always you. Think about it on a smaller scale. You actually are a good person. And that, gives her the goods to keep going, which Slytherins do need, especially from their people. Her dad's everything to her. I mean, I think it's safe to say her dad and Josh are her circle.
Yeah, which is so funny before Josh is romantic because he is at that point as well as her I hate saying stepbrother because it's such a
not but
brother. They were step siblings at one point. So she's still obviously their dynamic is so funny and easy and they're just teasing each other and
Well, Cher really gets people. She gets Josh. Like, she pokes fun at him all the time. She's like, he's the stereotypical college liberal arts student who, like, has the annoying girlfriend. And she's like, I remember Mel Gibson, and he didn't say that. It's not Hamlet. It's that Polonius guy.
Right. Well, then that goes back to how, like, she's secretly smart, and, like...
She is.
Yeah.
I always love how Cher is, like, notoriously this big virgin, but she's the matchmaker who's like, their legs are crossed towards each other. That's an unequivocal sex invite. So, like, it doesn't matter if she has the experience. She's still going to act like the expert.
Okay, I was going to talk about that because Cher is so confident in herself that she takes Tai, who obviously has
way more
much more life experience than her. Tai, like, on the regular does drugs and is not a virgin and clearly knows how to flirt with people. And Cher is so confident that she somehow starts telling Tai how to do things. Like, she's teaching her how to flirt at the Valley party, and she's telling her about not wanting to date high school boys and how it's gross. And it's like, and Cher is just so confident in knowing the stuff that she's never experienced, that Tai has experienced, that Tai just goes along with it. And it's crazy dynamic. It's insane that she is able to do that. Like, it's crazy.
It speaks to Tai's house, I'll say
a little, but I think it speaks a lot to Cher, like mostly to Cher.
It does, but it's also it's funny because you see, okay, so like Dionne and Tai are in 2 different houses as well. It's not like a 3-house dynamic here, like one of our previous episodes. But Dionne is very like, get over it, like shut up, stop complaining. Like, she'll still be there and go along with Cher's shit, but Tai very willingly is just like, oh yeah, okay, sure, like you get this. And they don't see the dynamic clearly at all. Like, they don't see what Tai has to offer. They don't even get what she's dropping. They do not understand what she's putting down. She's like, weed. And they're like, oh, tea. They don't know what the fuck she's talking about. And
yeah,
Cher just...
She's like, you guys have Coke here? And they're like, yeah, in the cafeteria. Like,
America. Yeah. And no, but she needs to feel in control. That's what it comes down to. She has to feel like she's the expert on everything. She's the expert in her house. She's the queen of the school. She knows everything, and when she's met with someone who challenges that, you see her deflate hard.
Well, yeah, you see her get fucking pissed when Tai has her, like, life-death experience, and everybody's like, and Tai's like, oh, I have to check my schedule. I don't know if I can go to the mall with you today. And Cher's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I made you. We can go to the mall. Like,
yeah, but see, it's not like that exactly. It's not like, I made you, what the fuck? It's not.
It's we're friends. Like, what do you mean?
Right, she's never cocky.
She's pissed about it.
Do you know what I mean, though? She's never a cocky brat.
I don't think it's necessarily cocky, but she's, like, pissed at Tai. She's like, what the hell do you mean you're not going to come to the mall with me? Like,
Yeah, of course.
And she does get a little, like, that's not even how it happened. Like,
she expects loyalty. She does expect loyalty, and she expects things to work out the way she wants them to. Very Slytherin.
Another thing with the whole Christian thing, the first time you hear about him, it's because Mr. Hall is like, where the hell is this Christian kid? And
right.
Cher knows the answer. And she's obviously never met him before. She knows everything about the school, though. She's like, word on the street, Christian's parents got, like, split custody, and he's in Chicago for the semester or whatever. And she decides to go against her whole, like, I don't date high school boys thing because Christian is so, like, classy and sophisticated. She's like, okay, I can go with this one or whatever. And she genuinely does not understand why he is not into her. She does not get it. She's like, how is he not into me? It doesn't make any sense. There's nothing not to like. I don't get it. I do not get it.
Interestingly, it doesn't hurt her the same way that it does when she thinks Josh is not into her. When she thinks Josh is not into her, she goes and, like, complains to her dad. She's like, I like this boy, and he's actually really smart, and he doesn't like me. Her dad's like, how is that possible?
Right.
What do you mean? She doesn't do that with Christian. She's
no, but it's like the same concept, though, that she's like, I don't understand why they don't like me. Like, there's no reason for it. Yeah. But then as soon as Murray's like, he's gay, she's like, oh. And, like, totally, she's like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. That's why he doesn't like me.
And then they become besties.
And then they become best friends, and it's totally fine or whatever. And then, yeah, you're right. With Josh, she, like, gets upset about it, and she's like, I don't understand why he doesn't like me. But it's also because she obviously actually likes Josh. Like, his opinion matters to her. And you can see that this whole time. It's that thing, again, where she, like, is actively attempting to be a good person in the correct way and not in the selfish way or the clueless way. And she sees Josh as someone who actually knows how to do that. So when he doesn't like her, it's like that equivalency, that Bucky equivalency where she's like, I'm a bad person. So because Josh doesn't like me.
She does ultimately get what she wants too in the end, doesn't she? It works out for her in the end the way it does for a lot of Slytherins, I must say. And she doesn't end up with a high school boy, as if, ugh, get off me. I wish I had kept that same energy when I was in high school. I should have listened. She was absolutely right.
She does, though. Yeah, she ends up with Josh, and supposedly her dad's fine with it. Like, obviously, he loves Josh. So you divorce wives, not children. So
I know. What a guy. Her dad's a good dude.
I like her dad a lot.
It's Calvin Klein, Daddy.
I don't care who it is. Put on something over it.
I love when
he's like, you want a drink? And he's like, oh, no, thanks. And he's like, what? You think I'm asking a teenager if they want a freaking drink who's taking my daughter out?
I love when she gets in the car with Christian. He's like, you like Billie Holiday? Oh, I love him. Because again, she doesn't have the experience, but she's confident that she's the expert.
Right.
Slytherin. I mean, I don't know how it's not clear to people if they watch the movie. And I wonder if anyone has watched the movie and thought about sorting them.
I don't know. We could look it up. That whole scene when they're in the restaurant or whatever, talking about like bent dicks and, it's incredible because Cher has no idea. None. She has no clue. Dionne and Tai are speaking from like experience and like multiple experiences and have learned what they like and they don't like. And Cher's like totally theoretical, all in her head, what maybe she thinks she likes. And she's so confident saying it to the point that like Tai, and it's because of Ty's house that she goes with it. But even Dionne is like, yeah, Cher knows exactly what she likes. And like, I'm not questioning how the hell she knows if she likes like bent penises or whatever. But obviously she's very confident in her answer. So, Yeah.
The only thing she really can say is that she doesn't like muscle. She doesn't like them too muscly. She doesn't like things that she can visually see. She's like, yeah, I don't like too many muscles. And, I'm so picky about my shoes and they only go on my feet. And like, she's saving herself for Luke Perry. It's all theory. She really has no idea what the fuck she's talking about. Mm-hmm. And Dionne actually at that point is a virgin too, but she's experimented with Murray.
Yeah.
So, and again, she's sitting down with two people who know more than her.
She's sitting down with people who have looked a dick in the face. And she's like, I'm going to speak from the exact same place as you two. And I'm not going to sound like I don't know what I'm talking about at all.
And it's true. Listen, she gets standing ovations for this reason. Like, people stand up and applaud her because she knows how to talk her way through and out of mostly anything.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty Slytherin. I really get the vibes.
She gets the whole entire school to do her drive at the end when it's like very uncool and Miss Geis is uncool and like as soon as she's like, I'm running this now, like the entire school is involved. And I guess that's another thing I want to say too. So Cher like warns Tai away from Travis because she's like, the potheads aren't people that you like seriously spend time with because, and it is self-absorbed and a little bit, and it is spoiled and a little bit bratty. Sure. But it's not. She doesn't treat Travis like that, which is so weird. Like whenever he does speak to her, or like whenever, I don't know. She and like at the end when he like comes with all his bongs and things, and he's like, I'm doing the 12 steps, so I have to apologize to you because I spilled alcohol on your shoes or whatever. And she's like, oh, that's really good for you. Like she was genuinely happy for him.
Yeah. Because I think that with Cher, she sees things the way, like, think of Mean Girls when they're talking about the categories of people at the tables and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's very high school. You look at people like the categorization. So she's not really seeing him. She's seeing the group he's part of. And she's trying to tell her, like, you want to be in the hierarchy. Mm-hmm. You don't look that way. You look at Murray's group. That's the boys that you can date. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't actually harshly judge them as people. She actually, and you're right, when she gives Travis a chance to talk, she really likes him. And then, of course, he's Tai approved.
I mean, and this is the theme of Emma, right? That Cher doesn't see that Tai is one of those people. She's totally oblivious to the fact that is where Tai, by all rights, would fit in the most and like should be hanging out. And she's like, no, Tai, those people aren't you. We're your people. Pulls her over.
Well, that's why the movie's called Clueless.
Uh-huh.
So, Cher's definitely a Slytherin. I will not hear a word against it. Do not tell me that she's in Gryffindor because she's a main character. I don't want to hear that shit.
Main
What are you?
character
Come
Gryffindor
on,
syndrome.
Ravenclaw. Where the fuck are you gonna put her?
I would not put her in Ravenclaw.
You can't put her anywhere else. I'm sorry, I won't hear of it. So we have a Slytherin on deck, which these days we have a lot of.
Yeah,
My
represent.
Where are the Ravenclaws?
When's the last time we had a male Slytherin? Oh, we just did Loki.
Male Slytherin.
We just did Loki. Not that episode.
What do you mean?
Like, that doesn't count because all of them were Slytherin. Like, it was really easy. When's the last?
Steve Rogers is the big one that people don't like. Steve from Wonder Woman as well. Sam Winchester was our first.
Damn, those were all early. Like, have they all been women since then? Yeah. Damn.
Well, now I really gotta think.
I know, right? I'm like, who was it? Wait.
Jeff.
That was also very early on.
That was a while ago. Well, Dennis from Sunny. We're just giving you guys all the goods. If you don't listen to the episode,
Oh, Jonah.
you're not gonna know what we're talking about.
Jonah. Yeah. Well, he
okay,
was
not
yeah.
that far back.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of Slytherins on deck. We also have had a lot of Gryffindors, which leads me into Dionne, who is a very clear Gryffindor.
Who
I told,
should have been in the movie more.
Lauren, she should have been a lot more.
There should have been like a Dionne sequel or something.
When I was a kid, I wanted to look like Cher, but I wanted to be Dionne. Like, I would go to the salon with my mom and get tons of blonde highlights put in my head, and my hair was fried straight. And I really wanted to look like her, but I didn't want to be anything like her. I wanted to be like Dionne, who was so fucking cool. I love her. And did you know the actress was like in her 30s when she played Dionne?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Insane.
Mm-hmm.
Insane that Hollywood has been pulling this shit on us for forever. But I digress. Dionne was amazing. I really can't believe she wasn't in more of the movie. It's really weird because she's such a big part of it for me.
Yeah,
I mean, of course, Cher's the main character, but
I mean, Josh acts as a big moral compass for Cher, but I feel like Dionne acts as a specific type of compass as well. She does. She absolutely, when Cher starts getting on her bullshit, she's like, "Bye, Cher." Like, she's awesome.
Well, yeah. She's exasperated by Cher. Like, she's complaining about Mr. Hall, and she goes, "Get over it. He's a miserable little man. None of this shit matters. Can we shut up?"
But then also,
she backs her up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but then Cher's like, "I want to make him fall in love with Miss Geis," and Dionne's into it. Like, she's helping her hardcore. When they're at the mall, and Cher's like, "I just can't get over it. Like, I can't get past it," and Dionne's like, already way past the C that Mr. Hall gave her. She's like, "I'm moving on. It didn't kill me. Like, we're going forward." And Cher's like, you know, she's got the hat on and she's got that like look into the distance. She's like, "I'm gonna make them fall in love," and Dionne's like, "Whatever, Cher," and like takes the hat off her head. But then she like does it, and it's like, and Dionne's into it. Like, Cher's like writing the note they put in Miss Geis's mailbox or whatever, and Dionne's like, "Wow, did you write that yourself?" And she's like, "Duh, it's like a famous quote." But they're so into it.
Well, I think a big part of it is that it's dramatics, right? And Dionne's very, very into the dramatics of anything. Yes. So she's not invested personally. She actually is not invested at all in personally, like,
the window blinds and like looking. But I
mean,
if
she was a different house, right? Mm-hmm. She would be saying to Cher, like, "Can you argue my grade for me too?" Like, she just doesn't fucking care.
No,
she just rolls her eyes. She rolls with it. She's like, whatever. And then she's like, "Oh, a dramatic little opportunity to match make." And
it's like acting. Like they ambush Mr. Hall and they're like, "Daddy gave me this sucky Italian roast and and duh, it'll stunt my growth." And Dionne's like, "Yeah," like they're so into it, like acting with Mr. Hall. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very Slytherin Gryffindor dynamic. Again, we see a lot of those.
And then they're like peering through the bushes and watching them like kiss at the car.
Old people are so cute.
Yeah, old people are so cute. And Dionne's like, "This is awesome. Like, this is the most entertaining."
She loves
it. That's what Dionne is. Life needs to be entertaining. It's why she's constantly fighting with Murray. And she when we first meet them, she just brought a fake extension so she could start a fight with him. And I love that Murray does it with her. Like, that is a perfect match. He's like, this is what she likes, and so I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna put on the play with her. He's never seen that extension before in his life, and he's like, "All right," and they start the fight. That's the thing too. I was gonna say about Cher, but it also works for Dionne. Is when Cher's like, you know, Dionne's boyfriend, and they're always fighting or whatever, and Dionne's like complaining about something Murray did or whatever, and Cher's like, "And now I have to say, why do you always put, like, she knows the role that she's playing in Dionne's life.
It's so funny when she says that. She's like,
yeah.
Okay, so now I have to say it. Why do you put up with it? Dionne goes, I don't know. Oh my God, here he comes. She loves it.
They are playing. Yes, her whole life is like the theater, and she's just playing.
She hates when he calls her woman, but she loves the excuse to argue with him about it.
Well, yeah, and then, and then he like runs away after saying his little smart thing, and she looks at Tai like, see, that's mine. Like,
she's like, look at my boyfriend, the best moron in the world. Like, look at him. There's a reason she's into him. I mean, look, Murray's fucking funny. He's one of the when that whole scene on the freeway, he just screams. Oh my God, it kills me. He's funny. But
I was going to say, even before that, when they're driving to the Valley party and Dionne's navigating and she's making it difficult for him for no reason.
Yeah.
He's like, look at the map, go northwest. And she's like, I can't go northwest. There's no more to go for. It says Bel Air. And he's like, look at the numbers at the top of that. And she's like, they're not numbers, they're letters. And he's like, oh! They're literally just putting on a show. I don't even think it would have mattered if Cher and Tai weren't in the back seat. They were doing it for themselves. Like, that
literally wouldn't matter. But I'm sure she has to love it when there's an audience. Like when he's shaving his head.
Yes.
Murray, what did you do? Oh my God, no.
What am I going to tell my grandchildren?
I'm calling your mother.
And Cher's like, she did this at the last party. She was in the bathroom for hours. And she accepts it. She's like, I don't have my friend at the party anymore. Bye, Dionne. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. She doesn't begrudge her that either.
No, she's like, this is what Dionne does at parties. And
she accepts her. And Dionne doesn't even pretend to not be exactly what she is at all times. She's like, constantly, the world is her stage.
Bitch. Yeah.
Yeah. I love how when she doesn't want to participate in gym, she's like, I have a note from my trainer. And she comes with it. She's prepared to get the fuck out of it. Like, Cher will make an argument. Mm-hmm. She will sit there and do debate club this bitch. And Dionne's like, I have a note. I'm just not doing it. Not only does she have a note.
Yeah.
She's got the note and she's got an insult for Amber, like, ready to go. So she's hella Gryffindor. I also love the whole thing where when they see Tai in gym, Cher's like, don't you want to use your popularity for a good cause? And Dionne just goes, no.
Yeah, she's like, why?
No, I'm happy with how things are.
That's another thing. Like, Cher's very confident in herself, but Dionne is too. She's like, it's like I said, she knows what her role in this theater that she's putting on her life is. She's like, I've got Murray and I fight with him and Cher's my best friend and I like shopping and I don't really care about helping people. That's not on my plate. That's not my responsibility. Yeah. But as soon as Cher is like, this is something I'd really like to do, Dionne's like, all right.
and she also she likes Cher's bullshit. She likes when Cher she'll ask her like, did that really happen? She goes, no, he didn't really say that. She's like, you're so bad. She loves it. Yes. You're manipulating all the little puppets on their strings. I get to watch.
She's like, more drama. No, but then there's also like after they finish talking to Tai for the first time, they're like, oh, I like her. She's really sweet. Like, they mean it. They're like, oh, I really like Tai. And then for Dionne, it's like, all right, this is another actor in my life now. Like, she's been accepted onto the stage.
She does. And I like that she really doesn't make fun of Cher for being, quote unquote, high mentally challenged. Although she is too at that point. She's like probably done all the other stuff with her boyfriend. Yeah. So she's more experienced, but she doesn't like mock her friend or like anything. She's never mean to Cher. She's just very like,
no.
She has standards.
which is great too, because I think Dionne out of anybody. We didn't talk about this with Cher at all, but I feel like part of the reason that like Cher puts on this act, like high school boys aren't good enough for me or whatever, and I think she is a little bit of like she doesn't want to, like she's a little afraid. She doesn't want to get into that.
It's scary.
Yeah,
and, oh my gosh,
and for a Slytherin, it's scary too. You know, like you get attached to somebody that you shouldn't be, and it's an issue. But I feel like Dionne out of anybody would understand that, and the fact that she doesn't like call Cher out for it. Like, don't go around telling people you want to suck a dick. You don't want to go anywhere near it. Like, she's totally cool with being like, oh yeah, Cher's not really into that right now. She's waiting till college boys come along, and that's fine with her.
Yeah, she's a very sincere friend. Like, she's very dramatic, and she's very she'll be the first to insult someone if, you know, like Amber especially. She can't stand Amber. But she's very supportive of her friends. She's very welcoming to Tai. Like, she doesn't put up a whole fucking thing about it where she's like, I don't want to do this, Cher. Like, I'm not interested in having this little weird girl come into our circle. She's just like, okay, project.
And
go for it.
And it's like very Gryffindor too. That like, all right, this is happening. Like, what, you know, like, and it'll just
what will happen.
Yeah,
next.
right. Like, what's gonna go down? And you know, and Cher's there like, it's gonna turn out well because I'm gonna make it turn out well. And Dionne's like, either way, I'm gonna love it. Like, I'm gonna make it good. You know, like,
she's like, I'm fine with it if it does or doesn't. All good.
You know, like as long as it's interesting, I'm cool. You know.
Yeah. Well, the whole freeway scene is also just like that's me on a freeway.
It's so dramatic for no reason either. They're literally like, pull off the freeway. And she's like, ah! There's a truck
and it's so dramatic that it ends in this big thing where her and Murray are making out, and that's it. Her virginity's gone. Yeah. Like, oh my God, I have a new respect for life.
She freaking planned that. Are you kidding me? She was like, not like exactly, but she was like, I'm gonna lose my virginity to a big moment, and she crafted the moment. So like, what? You know?
Yeah, well, I also like that when she's literally swerving on the road, and Murray goes, I swear to God, woman, you can't drive for shit. And she's like, I don't hear that right now, Murray. I don't hear it. She's swerving. She's not in a fucking lane. She's like, I don't hear it, so it's not happening. I'm actually a great driver. And then she almost fucking dies.
Well, no, and you know, and she, when we first meet her, like she dishes it, like, you know, like her and Cher have their relationship. Like Cher's like, you look like Dr. Seuss, and she's like, yeah, as opposed to having skinned a Yorkie for my bag, and like, and then Cher like totally just ignores the stop sign. She's like, hello, it says stop, and she's like, I totally paused. Like that shit, like she's gonna call her out. She's gonna be like, don't come for my hat. Your bag looks like shit. Like, you know. Right.
Yes, always a good repertoire with Dionne. She deserved a lot more screen time. I will say that. I sadly think that's all the Dionne scenes.
I was gonna say, like, towards the end when it like starts being about Josh, we don't really get, like, she doesn't talk to Dionne about it, and
no, it's so sad. I always wanted to get Dionne, but you know she accepts it because at the end at the wedding, they're all sitting together and they're talking about their boyfriends and their future weddings with them. She's like, I'm gonna have a sailor wedding. I'm gonna have a sailor gown,
which was like, amazing. I loved that when I was a kid. I was like, I'm gonna do that.
I love Dionne's hair in that scene too. By the way, with the pom poms. She's such a moment. Yeah, now I can tell you. Now I wish I looked exactly like Dionne. She's so fucking pretty. But I'm sorry to say that we have another Gryffindor Slytherin mix. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. This one isn't romantic, though, so.
No. Ooh, what's Josh? Ooh, I didn't look at it at all.
No, don't talk about it because I know what he is, and we're gonna
revisit Clueless.
Do you want to? I was like, if this episode ran short, we could probably just fucking talk about Josh, right? And it is running a little short. Although Hannah's listening to this right now, like, just stop the episode in an hour. Why won't you do that?
True. But okay, we'll keep it focused to our main three, and then if we want to chit chat at the end, we will. Because we make the rules, you know?
That's true.
But sadly, that's it for Dionne, which is a fucking tragedy. She's a great character. And next up, we have Miss Tai, Brittany Murphy herself. Yeah, so sad what happened to her.
I know.
Ridiculous, by
I
the
think
way.
that last movie I saw with her was when she was like the au pair to what's her name? The Bridge to Terabithia girl. Dakota Fanning. That movie made me cry. I was like, what? And then I think she died a few years later. Yeah.
She was a really good actress.
Yeah, it's really sad.
She plays Tai, so oh my God. She plays like two different characters in the same fucking movie.
Which speaks to her house.
It's the house. It is the house.
It's the house.
Thankfully, we're moving on from Slytherin Gryffindor.
Yeah, I was about to say too, like, you'd think Slytherins would be the most, like, could be any person, but they really don't. They really keep their core selves even when they're manipulating people or, like, trying to be something else. They really are always themselves. Tai is a Hufflepuff. It's very, what do you need me to be?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the others are, first of all, we have to remember they're kids, okay? Because they are. They're acting like grown-ups, which Tai calls out. She's like, oh my God, you guys talk like grown-ups. And
please do that accent because that's your side of it. Yeah.
I will be doing that accent when I talk like Tai. I can do it very well.
Yeah, you can.
So the other girls, they're like oblivious to what Tai has to offer, which is actually a lot. She has a lot of worldly experience.
Which I said earlier. She is clearly extremely versed in hard drugs. She's like, and she knows how to get them, and she knows what they feel like. And she's clearly very well versed in men.
So shit, you guys have never had straight friends before.
Yeah, Cher's like, you've got something to offer that nobody else at the school does. And she's like, oh, I'm not a virgin. Like, you know, they totally ignore her when she says stuff like this.
They do.
When she comes up after speaking to Travis, I can't remember what her exact line is, but she's talking, and then Cher, all of a sudden, it clicks in her head, and she's like, are you talking about drugs? And then Cher, oh yeah, because she's like, he knows where to get all the good smokes.
All of his
like,
pot,
yeah. And she's like, are you talking about drugs? And like, it flies over their head. That Tai is like way above them in terms of life experience.
Well, and she's equally as oblivious to their world, too.
Yeah.
You know, they live in two different worlds.
I think that's partly how they get Tai, because Tai is totally unfamiliar with the, like, Richie rich, you know, like, hierarchy sort of thing. Like, for her, probably, she was very popular as somebody who flirted well with guys and got a lot of drugs or whatever. And, like, that's not how it works at this school. So she's like, oh, shit. And Cher, you know, she shows up, and Amber's like, she could be a farmer in those clothes. Ugh. And then Cher and Dionne are immediately like, no, come over here, we're gonna help you. And like immediately are like, this is what we're gonna do, so that you know what's going on here. And she just she rolls with it. She's like, absolutely, tell me what to do.
She's happy to be a project because I think she's happy to be useful in that situation.
Well, yeah, and also it's so like the first time that she gets away from Cher and Dionne is when she talks to Travis. Yeah. And Travis, she flirts with him super well. Travis is obviously into it. Like, he wants to date her immediately. And she's into it, too. She, like, immediately connects with him, is really good at flirting with him. And then when Cher and Dionne are like, oh, no, you're not going to date with him. She's like, okay, that makes sense. Like, she's just ready to go. She's like, I will do. And even, like, she continues to, like, flirt with Travis and do it really well, like, at the Valley Party or whatever. But Cher's like, Elton's into you, which he's not. Like, Cher's is manipulating this, but she's like, Elton's into you, like, you're gonna go for Elton. And Ty's like, okay, like, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing about Tai is that, like, she's not some desperate kid though wanting to fit in. I think she just does want to belong somewhere, just fit somewhere. But I don't think she's
wants
like
friends.
She wouldn't.
She's a new kid at
She's
school.
not climbing the social ladder. You know what I mean?
Wants friends. She got extremely lucky that Cher and Dionne are popular and also genuinely nice. Like, it wasn't like Amber who took her on her wing and was like, this is how the school works or whatever.
Right. And she doesn't know how she fits at this new school or within the social setting at all. So she defers to the experts, but the experts are just as clueless as she is in some ways.
The clueless leading the clue. Yeah. Cher is clueless about life, and Tai is clueless about the fact that Cher is clueless.
But I did think, as I was thinking back to Tai moments, like, the whole makeover thing, Dionne flat out says, like, this is Cher's way of having some control in a chaotic world. And she's like, okay, let's do it. Like, how can I be useful to you right now?
Yeah.
And I think
like,
that's
they
a big
wash
Hufflepuff
the
thing.
dye out of her hair and, like, give her all new clothes. And, like, and also, like, here's the thing about Tai, too. Like, Dionne is the star of her own show. The world's the stage. She's the one that everybody needs to pay attention to. But we've talked about before how, because of the roles that they need to fit into, Hufflepuffs are also very good actors and can get into it. Like Annie very much gets into the roles that she's assigned to play for, like, bit episodes or whatever. I don't think she was ever really into Elton. She, like, played that. No, she played that for Cher. She did the Rollin' with the Homies. And then, you know, Cher tells her that Elton wasn't into her. And she cries. And she burns all the things. Yeah, she burns the things that, like, the dishcloth that she saved from when he, like, put it on her head. And the cassette. And, like, I don't know, some other random stuff. But she got that all together in a box and was like, Cher wants me to be like this about this. So this is what I'm going to do.
And, I mean, then she the same thing happens with Josh. She immediately is like, oh, now this guy, okay, I'm gonna make this work now. Oh my god, he's always, like, touching me and finding a way to tickle me, and, you know, she immediately jumps into that. And she's like, Cher's gonna support me.
Yeah. And also Josh is, like, nice to her, right? Because most of the, like, cool boys have been dicks. Like, it's been the unacceptable, what Cher and Dionne think is unacceptable, who have been nice to her. So Josh is, like, an older college boy, and he's Cher's stepbrother, so why would she think that was off limits? And she's,
oh God,
yeah, and she's like, he danced with me after I got made fun of and like got knocked to the ground or whatever. So he was really nice, and I like that. And I mean, she also gets over it fairly easily. Like she does do the like, you're a virgin who can't drive. And
that's a big Hufflepuff thing right there, because they're super nice and sweet and great until they're insulted. And I mean, genuinely insulted. Like she actually felt like Cher was calling her stupid and not able to keep up with Josh, because Josh is this like big college kid.
Right.
And you get on their bad side, you offend them, and you're going to get hit with something hard. In Tai case, it's verbally insulting Cher, which she apologizes for.
For like the next day, she's like, I'm so sorry I said that. And then Cher immediately gets with Josh, and she like has no problem with it. But also like Cher is like, maybe dating Travis is not unusual for you to do. And then she does get to date Travis. So
yeah. And I like that we don't see a mean streak in her before or after that moment. Mm-mm. Like that's the only time I think.
No, she was attacked. So she was, or she felt attacked. So she was like,
which is the whole Hufflepuff thing. They're not going to just be rude or mean or nasty for like no reason. You have to really piss them off. You have to really insult them. Like really, it has to hit them hard. Like you see it with Thor. Thor can get called stupid to his face forever, but like you call him unworthy and he's going to fall into depression. It has to hit where I think they're weak. And I think for Tai, because she already felt so inferior in this social setting and in this new world, she didn't like being told that she couldn't keep up with something or someone.
I mean, generally for the average Hufflepuff, they have a good handle on their, I'm thinking of Mac, who is just triggered by every single thing
it's funny. They're caricatures of the worst.
I know, but I'm like, the levels are different for every Hufflepuff. But generally, they don't want to fight or create conflict. So you have to really get them for them to be like, oh, I'm going to snap back. Like, you know?
Yeah. And I think that was one of the things that really sold
like
her
Cass,
on Hufflepuff
who's like, after 10 years, is like, I'm leaving this dumb Gryffindor. I'm going to walk out the door. We'll see what happens then. So
this is Lizzo truth hurts moment. Yeah, it takes a lot. You have to hit them. You have to hit them where it hurts. This is not me telling you how to hurt your Hufflepuff spouse.
Right.
Like,
no, don't put this into practice. Like, don't.
Let me tell you something.
Don't bend them until they break, because it will scare you.
You're going to get hurt.
It'll scare you. Yeah.
You're going to get really fucking hurt.
Yeah. You will not expect what's coming for you. Yeah.
They're way more obvious about how they're going to hurt you back, but Hufflepuffs are going to get you when you didn't even know they were paying attention to what they were paying attention to.
Yeah.
They're like, what's that episode of Scrubs where the girl's like, I can tell what the thing on your face is or the thing about your appearance that you're insecure about, and like, I'll get it right. She's like, whatever. Yeah, no, you won't. She goes, your eyebrows. And it turns to the girl's fucking crying. Like, that's a Hufflepuff.
So it's like Jen Mulaney with the 8th grade boys. Like, you're walking down the street and you know that that's something I'm sensitive about.
Yep. Yep. They're the Hufflepuffs. They're an interesting little house. They really are.
Yeah.
I don't, I notoriously don't get them because they are not that I don't get them, but like, I don't understand sometimes how their brains work the way they do, because they're an emotions house like I'm an emotions house. But the emotions come out very differently. And I'm like, well, why didn't you get upset about this? You waited all that time to get upset about that? Mm-hmm. Then it's kind of fucking smart because they didn't lay out all their cards on the table right away. So I respect the Hufflepuff lethal side. But yeah, no Ravenclaws again.
No.
Unfucking believable.
Shame.
Unreal.
I know of some in the bucket, but...
Some in the bucket? What's that?
Well, they're waiting in the wings.
Oh, like ready to sort. Yeah, we got them on deck, but like, it's been a while.
Yeah.
What was the last one, Charlie?
Yeah.
Wow, that's sad and embarrassing.
I know. I want to talk more about Ravenclaws because they're all so different too. Like, they're not.
I know some of our favorite people in the whole world for both of us.
No, we did. Will is a Ravenclaw, according to us.
Who's Will?
From Hannibal.
Oh, that little fucking twig. Yeah. He is. He really is.
Isis isn't listening, is she? No, she's not.
Oh, Isis, turn your headphones off. He's a fucking Ravenclaw, man. This is going to turn into a Hannibal podcast if you let me keep going. Don't let me keep going.
No, we haven't even watched Hannibal. God.
I've seen it.
Okay.
Ish. It's too smart for me.
Yeah.
Goes over my head.
It's too gruesome for me.
I'm clueless.
Way to bring it back. Should we? We're at an hour. Should we talk about Josh? Like off the cuff?
Well, we can just. It's not shit sorting, but it's like quick sorts. Sure, for Josh,
It's a Gryffindor. That's why I was upset.
you didn't even let me fucking think about it, man.
All right, I'm sorry. Did I influence you?
I didn't even
Forget
think
I said
about it.
All right.
Yeah, he's a Ravenclaw now. No, he probably is a Gryffindor. Yeah, he's not interested in being useful, fitting into a community. No, he's not a chaos
I also
demon.
love that he's got to be like why don't you do something good? But I don't know what Josh actually does. So
Nothing.
He's going to be an environmental lawyer.
He's very pretentious, but he has
the
heart of a lion.
The way he gets pissed at the little clerk because he's like, she ruined all the depositions. Like she highlighted the wrong thing. He's like, who the fuck are you? Like he's ready to beat that guy out.
He's the one to go help Tai out when she's embarrassed and like alone on the dance floor. Mm-hmm. But he is also similar to Dionne, going to call you on your shit when Cher is behaving wrong. He tells you you're being a fucking brat.
Yeah. I also he is obviously attracted to Cher. When she comes down to the dress, he's the one who goes, are you going to let her go out like that? Like, you know?
He's a good boy.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
I love Josh. I always love Josh.
He's in that last scene, he's like, me and the guys have a bet going about whose girl is going to get the bouquet, and my money's on you, like a lot of money, so get it. Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah. He's a Gryffindor.
I love that. I've seen Discourse, you know, where it's like the obvious. Well,
because he's her stepbrother.
He's the brother role. He really isn't, though.
Again, this is based on Emma, and Mr. Knightley is Emma's brother-in-law. So this was like the closest they could do to a high school, you know, without, you know, but
yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's because I saw it when I was very young and it didn't have a chance to bother me. I was like, I didn't really get it.
All y'all who didn't grow up with living life with Casey, you don't know what it's like for our confusion to be that strong. Because in that show too, they were like genuine steps. Like they lived in the same house.
Which show is that?
Do you remember Living Life with Casey? Or Living Life with Derek? I'm sorry. It was on Disney Channel. It was after you. I was older when it was on, but it was Living Life with Derek, and it was a teenage girl and her little sister, and they married a family with a teenage boy and little brother.
I've seen the clips.
And Disney stopped because they were like,
it's not 1994. How about that?
They were like, we accidentally did something here that we shouldn't be doing.
Listen, it's not like the fucking Lannisters from Game of Thrones out here, you know, where they're like twins going at it.
Right. It's like
There's
like they're not blood related, but also they didn't grow up together. It's not like an adopted sibling or like, I don't even know how long their parents were married, for like 2 seconds before they divorced. And then, but then Josh just kept coming back because why wouldn't you keep going back to that house? It's like they're rich, right?
That's what Cher says. He's like, I love it here. She's like, I bet you do.
Yeah. Yep. And he's like a poor college student, you know?
They both didn't know they were into each other. The whole time. They're both like, I don't know. What is this? I don't know. Like, I just kind of want to be around you.
Yeah, that's the thing, too. Because they, like, just have this, like, they're friends. They just have this dynamic. And then, like, all of a sudden it snaps where Josh is like, oh, she's hot. And Cher's like, oh, I don't like the idea of him dating somebody else. She wasn't really bothered by the college girl, but I don't think she was focused on it.
She didn't take her seriously.
Yeah, she was like, there's no way this is going to be a thing because she doesn't even know who Hamlet is. So, like, you know.
Another friggin' Slytherin Gryffindor. Unbelievable.
You want to do Murray? I'll let you say him first. So I don't.
Murray?
Yeah.
I'm going to say he's another Gryffindor.
I know you are. I would have... The only other one that would put up with Dionne is a Hufflepuff. If he was like, I'm going to do what she wants to do, but we don't see enough of
him.
But I guess also because it's Cher's movie and Dionne is her friend, so we always see Dionne instigating. But I get the feeling that Murray also instigates. I think he enjoys
walks up to her, he goes, "Woman, why aren't you answering my pages?"
Yeah, or he like, why was he shaving his head? It was to piss Dionne off, right?
Yes.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
So
the Gryffindor couple.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And then, and Amber. Where are you putting Amber?
I hate to have to put her in Slytherin, but I can't. is like an extremely shallow Slytherin, but
She is.
she wants to be Cher. So
the envy.
that's all. Yeah, that's all she has, really.
What an annoying little cockroach. I was so mad. I love
She wears the same dress as Cher. Like she's really bad at being a Slytherin. Like but she is.
Are you sure?
If she's bad at it, obviously
sure
she doesn't
she's a
get
Slytherin?
it. Well, the only other one I would give her is Hufflepuff, but
Yeah, but she doesn't really care about any of the things.
No, she's totally fine. And I did see her. I was so interested in that scene when everybody's clapping in the courtyard because Cher got their grades pulled up or whatever from Mr. Hall. Mm-hmm. Amber's there clapping. Like she's not clapping enthusiastically, but she's clapping. So
yeah, they respect it.
Yeah,
they respect Cher's lawyer moves.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I thought of Jeff as I was sitting down thinking about Jeff Winger from Community. She's very Valley Girl version of Jeff Winger.
I would assume she did become a lawyer. Like,
100%.
Yeah. A very Elle Woods.
Elle Woods.
Yes. Yep. It's like what? All like right. It's hard? Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of, though.
Yes.
We have that up next.
Yeah. That's our next episode.
Very exciting. And I have to tell you guys, I haven't watched Legally Blonde in several years.
Oh my God, you guys.
So I'm going to have to get...
Elle's going to win the... Who are we doing? We're doing Elle, Warner, and...
Why the fuck? Why?
Because he's like the whole reason for what she's doing. So you want to examine that a little, right? Who else would you do? You would do Elle?
Examine it.
Oh my God. You do Elle. You would do...
we gotta do... You look like the 4th of July.
Jennifer Coolidge.
Makes me want a hot dog real bad.
She is... Here, okay.
Taking the dog.
I can think of 4. You could do Elle, you could do Warner, you could do...
what's the boy? The Wilson brother. Luke Wilson.
Yeah, I know. I was just trying to think of his name. Her actual husband. Evan... what do
you mean her actual husband? She didn't marry him in real life. The one she marries.
No, but not Warner.
Yeah, okay, that dude. And we could do Selma Blair's character.
I was going to say... I don't
want to do fucking Warner.
I'm interested in what I think Warner is, though.
Prick. We can do a quick sort at the end.
Oh, but...
Fine, put him... I won't put him on the graphics. I will not do it.
I make the graphics. Oh, I guess you make the rest of the graphics.
That's right, and he's a son of a bitch, and I won't put him on any of them. All right. We'll see. I may cave to it. I don't know. We'll chat. But that being said, thank you guys for hanging out with us. Yeah, this was really, really fun for me.
The shortest episode we've ever done, but it was also based on a 90-minute movie and not a 580-hour TV show. So
true. And also one of the greatest movies ever made.
Yes. Again, if you've never heard of it or have never seen it, leave immediately. Leave now. And also
leave now.
Leave now. And also tell us, I want to hear what you think.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
Feel free to disagree.
Yeah. Also,
always,
we can get into the quasi-Emma discussions because we will be sorting Emma at some point. But
I look forward to it.
Me too.
I almost gave away some of their houses in this episode.
Yeah,
so
we told Hannah to cut it.
Yes.
So you don't get to hear it.
Spoilers. So thank you for being here. I'm sorry that we insult you as always.
Did we? I think we were pretty good down.
Yeah, you just told them to get out if they didn't see the movie.
I told them to drop the podcast and go watch the movie.
Well, for our 90s kids out there, we're really, really going through it. I'm in 1990.
Happy birthday to Rachel!
For those of you who have watched Bo Burnham's Inside, Bo Burnham and I have the exact same birthday and birth year. And he has a whole song about turning 30, and oh my God. Oh, it's on repeat in my head forever.
Rachel.
You don't want to think about turning 30?
No, I already feel old, so I don't want to think about that.
It's just, the weird part of it is that you don't feel any older. I feel 25, so,
my brain
I always will.
My brain thinks I'm 24, because that's my favorite number, so I'm always I'm 24.
My favorite number is 16. Do you know why?
Why?
Because that's the age of most of the Disney princesses.
Oh my God, that's creepy.
I decided that when I was 16, so fuck off.
That's creepy. Dude, when are we doing Disney?
I love Disney princesses. What do you mean it's fucking creepy?
It's creepy that they're like getting hit on by these old men.
That's fine, but I love them. So.
Yes.
Okay, guys. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Say happy birthday to Rachel.
Don't.
Tweet at Rachel. Happy birthday, Griffin Dean, because she's trash. GRYFFINDEAN. Tell her happy birthday. This is coming out 3 days before her birthday. I think it's August 17th. So tell her happy birthday, and then tell Misha Collins happy birthday the next day.
No, I'm tired of him getting all the attention around my birthday. It's not fair.
Who gets cupcakes from me? Not Misha Collins.
He gets lots of things from you, okay? God damn it. Every year.
Fine.
Every year I have to share a birthday with this man.
Fine. Tweet Rachel on her birthday and on Misha's birthday. And don't tweet Misha.
Thank you. The 20th and the 21st.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
All right.
I'll be looking out for your tweets.
Tell them we sent you. So, see you next time with Elle and whoever else we're throwing in there.
A lot of people.
Yeah, all of them.
But like, it's hard.
Yeah, it's going to be like this, but more, we quoted a lot in this one. It's just going to be this again.
It really is.
Yeah.
Let's get back to school, kids.
Anyway, love you all.
Okay, guys.
See ya. Happy birthday, Rachel.
Thanks.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Sort of Brilliant. If our sorting choices inspired any rage or excitement, we'd love to hear from you. We're open to feedback, suggestions for characters to sort, and solid counter-arguments with citations.
Never forget your citations. You can find us hanging out on Twitter and Instagram at SOB_pod or shoot us an email at sortofbrilliant@gmail.com.
And since we're not above begging, please rate and subscribe to Sort of Brilliant on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. Please share our posts on social media. And if you're a Gryffindor, maybe you'll inspire sorting fights among your own friend group.
The theme music is Hot Shot by Scott Holmes. Can't wait to sort with you again next time. Bye!